guys so much for joining our Lunch and Learn today. We have Doherty. She is an executive advisor and a business development coach. So today she's going to be sharing with us something incredibly important, which is her approach in finding more balance in life and business. So I didn't want to share too much because she has a lot of incredible things to share with us today. So take it away, Dawn.
Good afternoon, everyone. Are you happy to be here? Thank you, CommonGrounds, for the amazing lunch too, right? It's so cool. My life changed drastically when I decided to be a member here. I love being here. Love you, Tamara. Love the staff here. And let's get right into this. So, this is such a beautiful little slide here, simplified by Dawn, balance, for business. The bottom line, I'm going to be really direct with you. Do I have the permission to be really direct with you? So I'm a New Yorker, okay? I moved here a year and a half ago, and we don't sugarcoat anything. So yes, we're going to talk about balance, but I believe the real issue and the thing that's going to set your life and business on fire is how to stop screwing yourself over. You're all getting in your own way. And today I'm going to talk to you about how you're probably getting in your own way and what to do about it so you can reduce the stress, so you can become more influential in your life, you can have better relationships, enhanced relationships. I'm talking about not only with your friends and families, but that partner, those intimate relationships, having relationships that actually inspire you and get you energized. So we're going to talk about that today and fall back in love with what you do, because when you fall back in love with what you do, you're going to do more of it, you're going to line up more clients, and your business is going to explode. So say yes if you're excited about learning about this. Yes? Yes? Yeah. Cool. All right. Also, everybody raise your hand, please, because I do want you to ask questions or to drill down, and certainly I'll be taking a Q&A at the end if you want to write them down, if you want to see me at the end, I'm here. So balance for business. So one of the things that I help people with, and you don't have to read this whole thing on the screen, but it's about how you introduce yourself to other people, right? So I have a practice called Simplified Balance. I am a coach, I'm a trainer, I'm a speaker. I've been in front of business owners all around the world, showing them how to turn up their engagement, how to turn down their overwhelm, and specific things they can do to take their life and their businesses to the next level. You cannot see yourself as well as I can see you. Do you get that, right? You're too close to yourself to be objective. So that's what I do. Okay, and on a personal note, I just want to share that I'm obsessed with the financial markets. I love money. I love beating the markets. I love showing people how to make more money on their money. So does anybody like money here? Yeah? If you're interested in money, come see me too, because I love it. Okay, so welcome. Here's what I know. You either have a problem right now that you don't know how to solve. Have you ever had a problem that you didn't know how to solve? Yeah? And sometimes you don't know who to come to. But here's what I believe. I believe most people have a problem that they don't even know about. That's affecting them in a really big way. So that's why you want to align yourself with personal development and business development, because once you do that, you're going to understand your strengths so you can enhance them, and you're going to own your weaknesses so you can manage them. One of the books that I have my clients read, and if you have a copy on your shelf, dust it off and start reading it again, is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Do we love it? There's a revised vision, and if you haven't, a revised version, and if you haven't read this book, I highly recommend that you understand what's keeping most people back. And it's fears that we're encoded with, because That's what got us through centuries when we had to run from cheetahs, right? Create shelter for ourselves. Fight or flight is what has this race where we are today. That mechanism is no longer serving us, yet we're all still carrying fear. So I help people understand what those fears are, okay? And once you start owning the alibis that you go to that are excuses for why you're not stepping into your purpose and doing what it is that you really want to do, once you own them, you'll move through them, and confident, decisive people are successful. When you waver, when you go back and forth, when you sit on the fence, when you pass up opportunity, you will struggle and be challenged for the rest of your life. So I work with people to up their confidence and to help them become decisive. It's super key. So what does this mean in dollars and cents? I did a little calculation that I have on the board here, and I'll make sure that everybody gets a recording of this presentation and the presentation itself. So if we just look at the business of real estate, we have a few real estate people in the room. Yes? Kenny? Yes? Some others? No? He's the real estate guy? So I work with a lot of people who are in business for themselves, and real estate people can't get out of their own way. They're screwing themselves over day after day after day. Don't take it personally, Kenny, okay? 82% of them go to the closing table, they give the keys to the home to their client, and they don't follow up with them after the closing. There are people who are in your network that if you did a great job of being authentic with them, showing them that you really cared about them, if you just found 100 of them and you followed what it is that I show you and you're in front of them every month, 80% of them, and these statistics are well-founded, they're market proven, 80% of the 100 people that you do this method with will be advocates for your business, ambassadors for your business. Imagine that 10% of those 80 people give you referrals that year. As a real estate professional who sells $1 million properties, that's an extra $200,000 in your pocket. The reason why people aren't doing what it is that I'm showing you here is they make up excuses. Give me some excuses why you don't follow up with people. Anybody?
I don't have the time.
I don't have the time. What else? They don't want to hear from me. I don't want to bother them. They're too busy. This is what I will tell you. When you have something of value, when you show somebody you care, when you do a little, stalking on social media and you find out where they just went on vacation or the promotion that they just had, and you call them up and you genuinely acknowledge them and meet them where they are, they're going to support you in your business. So we want to have these alliances in our life, but the reason why people aren't doing it is because they don't understand themselves enough and they don't understand how to communicate properly. And one of the giveaways that I have today is a book around how to create your defining statement. And the other reason for all of that is that, again, these alibis are playing. Their ego is getting in their way of doing business. I always joke and I say, our parents told us two things: never talk about money and stop talking to strangers, never talk to strangers. And those two things are what are hurting you today. We want to talk about money. We want to talk to strangers because strangers will get us to the next level. So some statistics for you. I'm going to read them off to you, and you may be surprised about this. I was surprised. 70% of U.S. workers are not engaged. 70%. So what that means is if you were paying somebody $100,000 a year, they're really only earning $30,000 of that $100,000. So what does that mean to you as an entrepreneur or a business owner? It means that there are chances, the chances are you're not as engaged as you could be. If everybody you know is 70% of them are not engaged, then you're not as engaged as you could be. So we're going to find out why that is. Another statistic, 89% of employers think that employees leave for more money. and only 12% of them leave for more money. So what that means is the reason why people are unhappy in their work is not because they're not making enough money. It's because what it is they're doing is not aligned with their behavioral style. What it is that they're being asked to do is awkward and uncomfortable, therefore it doesn't feel good, therefore they want to leave and find something else. And then a big statistic is the reason why most people leave is because of their boss. 75% of people leave their work because of their boss. 75% of the people that you talk to are not going to do business with you, not because what it is that you're offering them is too pricey, it's because they don't like you. They don't like you. Well, how do you get around that? You do what it is that I'm going to be challenging you to do right now, which is to discover your behavioral style. So does everybody have one of these pieces of paper in front of them? If you don't, I'm going to pass them out. And if you don't have a pen, you can do this after the session. But I'm going to step everybody through a very simple way that you can find out about your personality style. And instead of apologizing for it, you're going to own it. I'm a very enthusiastic person. Some people are turned off by that. I can tell people right away, this is my behavioral style, and here, these are my priorities, and based on what I'm seeing with you, I'm guessing these are your priorities. So follow me on this. Do you see this little box here that's on your sheet of paper? Okay. We're going to go row by row. And the first row, on the first row, what it is you're going to do is you're going to go through this first row, directing, influencing, steady, or cautious, and write down 4 for which of those words are most like you, and then 1 is going to be which of those words are least like you. So you're going to do 4, 3, 2, 1. Which word is most like you, second to most like you, not so much like you, and 1 is it's definitely not like me. So row by row, you're going to grade each of these 4 areas. Do you get what I'm saying? Does everybody get the rules to the game? Yeah? So I'm going to give you a little time to do that. It's row by row. 4, 3, 2, 1. Daring, enthusiastic, stabilizing, analytical. What it is you're doing here is what I want couples to do together, parents to do with their children, teammates to do with each other. When we understand each other, when you know what makes other people tick, you're going to become more influential, and you're going to do more business, and you're going to be happier. That's how it works. You be you. Don't try to be anybody else but you. And try to get other people. That's why I hate most sales training, because they'll tell you, how to be pushy, how to ask for the referral, but that does not work because everybody's different and you're different from everyone else. So what are you going to do after you grade each of those rows is you're going to total each of the rows. So to know that everything's correct, each of these totals, when I add them up all together, they should equal 50. I have a degree in electrical engineering. I like math. But ask me to do an equation and I'm taking out my calculator. And what you're going to tell yourself is which behavioral style you are. Column 1 is D. Column 2 is I, column 3 is S, and column 4 is C. And I'm going to give you a little overview of what those different behavioral styles mean, so you can make them work for you moving forward, okay? So this is what the report that I administer, this is the quick and dirty way of doing it. But if you really truly want to understand the nuances of who you are and how to interact with other people, I administer an assessment that's called the DISC. And this, has anybody heard of the DISC before? Raise your hand if you have. This is better than any DISC you've ever taken because this is from Wiley & Sons, John Wiley & Sons. I'm an authorized partner, and it's amazing. It's a 20-page report, and there's a page that when you read it, it's called your dot story. You're going to be reading it and say, oh my gosh, how did that assessment that I just took online result in a story that's exactly who I am? It's going to blow you away. But the quick and dirty is what it is that you just did with me. And if you are a D, if your high number was in your first column, you're fast-paced and outspoken, questioning, and skeptical. Any D's in the room? Anybody have okay, does that sound like who you are? Yeah? So any I's in the room? That's what I'm all about. We're fast-paced and outspoken, but we're a little bit warm and accepting. I don't ask as many questions as my D colleagues, although I'm on the line between I and D. Then at the bottom, we have people who are a little bit more cautious and reflective. Steadiness is cautious and reflective, warm and accepting. Conscientiousness is cautious and reflective, but questioning and skeptical. These are our engineers, our accountants, people who comb through things and look for opportunities to make things better. So when you look at the wheel, when you look at the circle, and you look at the words that are circling the actual pie slices, we call those priorities. So when you take the assessment, should this be something that you want to do, and it's the best gift that you can ever give yourself, you're going to understand your priorities. So if your dot happens to be right here, like my dot is, my priorities are action, enthusiasm, and results. So D's, if you're straight in the middle of D, you're all about results. You don't want to hear a story. Who's the D's in the room? Right? You don't want to hear a story from someone. You're like, get to the point. I just want to know what the bottom line is. Yes? Bottom line people. So when I understand that, and I'm a real estate agent working with you, am I going to tell you big stories? Am I going to give you stacks of things to look at? No, I'm going to give you the bottom line because I know that time is of the essence, that you don't want to sift through superfluous things, right? So all of these priorities are associated with the different pie slices. This is DISC introductory. This goes deeper than all of this, and certainly I could share some more information with you. But really, why you want to get to the bottom of this is you want to understand what are your greatest contributions to your workplace. You don't understand how to articulate that maybe as well as you can, but guess what? When you take this assessment, your dot story on page 5 is going to call those things out. What are your greatest fears? Okay, what are the things that are challenging you that are standing in the way of you taking some great action? This is what the assessment is going to tell you. How are you misunderstood? A lot of people think that I'm flighty because I'm so enthusiastic. So I know I need to slow down sometimes and get very detail oriented, specifically with the D's and the C personality styles that I'm working with. And lastly, how can other styles relate to me better? The answer to selling more, having a better marriage or partnership, having a cohesive family, teams that get results, are understanding all of this. If it were as easy as me telling you what to do, every single person in this room would be a billionaire, because there are YouTube videos, there are books out there that tell you what to do. your inability to get engaged and get beyond your fear, right? And get beyond your alibis is what's holding you back. So what I have for you today is a gift. I created this nice little infographic. It's super pretty. It's a nice poster to put in your office that goes into what I refer to as accelerators for simplified balance. I believe that when we get specific and measurable, right? When we are in line with a discipline for gratitude, love, a discipline for discipline, integrity, passion, humility, and wisdom. Like for instance, one of the tips are speak your truth. Our values shape who we are. Uncover what you stand for and how this theme affects the way you communicate. My truth is, I believe that this life in your business doesn't have to be so complex. I believe that when we start living a simplified life, we are happier, more miracles start happening during the day, more business comes our way because we're more influential and we're more energized. So I have this gift for you, so you can practice these 11 tips. And what it is that I'm going to do for all of you that are here, because I want to keep this short and exciting, is I'm going to do a drawing. One of the things that I do with clients right at the beginning is a session that's 90 minutes. And what we do is you complete the DISC assessment, you get your report, we go into your strengths and your challenges, and then we determine what is the one thing that you want to change in your business and your life over the next 30 days. And I give you specific actionable techniques to make that happen, and then I check in with you after 20 or 30 days or so. So what I want to do right now, if you have a card, that would be great. If you don't, I have some, this may be the better way. You could fill out one of my little pieces of paper here that I have in one of my folders, and you can just give it to me, and then we can go from there. I'm going to raffle off 2 free sessions. Yes, we're going to do that, and I also have 2 books that I'd like to offer as a gift for the people who get the 2 free sessions. So I have 2 items that I'm going to raffle off. But just to tie everything together, and I do want to ask for questions as well, I want for you to take action. Because if you leave this presentation doing the same thing that you've always done, you're going to get what you've always gotten. Albert Einstein, what is his one quote that everybody knows? The definition of insanity is? Yeah. So who here wants more from their life? Raise your hand if you want more, right? So you need to start doing something different. And for you to actually do something different in a disciplined way and consistently, you need to get out of your own way. You need to understand how do I trip myself up? I'm going to hold that mirror up for you and show you how you trip yourself up. So after today, here are the things that I want you to get smart around. I want you to start getting smart around money. Money. We do a great job in this country showing people how to be workers. We don't do a great job at showing people how to be investors, how to save money. Why do I know this? 78% of this country lives paycheck to paycheck. There was a statistic in Forbes 3 months ago that said 66% of millennials have less than $1,000 sent away for retirement. 66%. Yeah, this lady's looking at me with it. Can you believe that, right? Tony Robbins in his book Money states that 80% of Americans have less than $25,000 set aside. How far does $25,000 get you here in San Diego? Not very far, right? I'm about the only person who's moved here that has recently said, wow, it's not so expensive to live here. You know, compared to New York, It's certainly not. So I want you to get smart around money. If you want to learn how to get smart around money, my colleague rather, Shelly, who's in the back of the room, once you get your folders, just give us your name and your email address and we'll follow up with you and we'll invite you to something that'll get you smarter around money. I want for you to join my 21-day challenge on how to get out of your own way. It's free. You'll get some emails from me and some actionable techniques that will take your business and your life to the next level. So you're gonna get, again, a folder here that we're gonna give you. Inside this folder, I have the poster. I have my little marketing piece here too. If you wanna know who does my design, let me know, they're amazing. I have my card, and then I have this little piece here. You're gonna wanna just give us your name and email for the drawing before we wrap up. And I also gave everybody here a little gift. It's a free week at the Equinox. You know what the Equinox is? It's the workout facility at La Costa. So it's where I work out. It's a place where I meet very like-minded people, people who are winners, people who are all about balance and making things happen in their life. So I want for you to take this gift, and then once you get it, take the time to place your name here and your email address. We'll do the drawing, and we'll follow up with you. And I just want for you to make today a day that's a turning point for you, where you're saying, you know what? I need to look at myself in the mirror. I want to align myself with somebody who's gonna help me live my dream. Because life is too short. Very short story. My dad died at 66. I lost him at a very young age. And he left his hopes and his dreams when he left us. He wanted to go to Alaska. He never made it there. He wanted to do so many things. He wanted to travel. He wanted to work with young people. He was a chess instructor. He left too early, and he left all of his dreams and hopes with us here. Don't leave today without getting committed and specific around what your dreams and hopes are, because that's why we're here. So I want to thank you for your attention. Was this fun? Informative? So I have these. If you want to get into the drawing for the session, which has an accompanying book, please come get one of these. Fill out at a minimum your name and your email address. If anybody knows they want to spend some time with me one-on-one, there's a way you can do that as well. So let's find out if you won the free session first, and then I welcome you all to connect with me. I place my LinkedIn also on the board, linkedin.com/in Dawn Doherty. Please take the time to connect with me. Thank you for your time. Bye now.